Franklin, so you can make sure that everything's all hunky-dory.
Error code out of the gate. Refresh. And
Tell
we
me
are
when you
live.
see it.
We are live.
I'm gonna put a tracker in there. I'm just gonna say hi to the room, Franklin, so you can make sure that everything's all hunky-dory.
Not for me.
Tell me
Not
when you see it.
Lorne. Not forlorn. Hi. Hi, not forlorn. Franklin is muted. Not for me. Not forlorn. Lorne. Not forlorn. Hi. Hi, not forlorn. Okay, we're going to be going live in about 2 minutes. What is that noise that I'm hearing? I'm hearing some like signaling noise or something.
It was my notification thing.
Okay, go ahead and mute that.
Okay, we're going to be.
I've muted mine, I hope. Going live in about 2 minutes. So
I will shut my microphone.
What is that
off
noise
here
that I'm
as soon as we
hearing?
get
I'm
the
hearing
video
some
going.
like signaling noise or something.
Oh,
It
it's
was
Carol.
my
Hi, Carol.
notification thing.
Okay,
How are you?
go ahead and mute that.
Good to see you.
I've muted mine, I hope. And I will shut my microphone off here as soon as we get the video going. Oh, it's Carol. Hi, Carol. How are you? Good to see you.
Actually, do not know how to mute that.
What, the truck or the notifications?
The notifications.
No, that's still Castle Rock.
Okay. Well, it gives it that city feeling with that truck.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
Urban.
Glass half full, right?
Urban metropolis of
Yeah,
Castle Rock.
Metropolis. Yes.
Tried to move there at one point in time. I like that little town.
It is a nice little town.
Festival of Lights.
Yep.
How long have you lived there?
We've lived here like 14 years.
Really?
Yep.
I went down there. There was gosh, Carrie, 14 years. Yeah, I'll save it for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Christmas parade. I used to make that every year.
My littlest sang this last Christmas.
I didn't make it this year, but yeah, I really liked it.
It was cute.
Yeah.
They had all the little kids from the elementary school up on stage and fake snow bubbles.
So did they do it up big this year again, or?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, they did.
Good. I really enjoyed you had a choir that got up, or singers that got up there, and they were really good. A bunch of city people, citizens. Okay, we're going to start the video now. So, and away
Franklin,
we go.
I noticed. Oh, go ahead.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
My name is Marianna, and I'm a psychiatric registered nurse and a proud member of the working class. Because I come from proud working class timber workers. And I'm running for state rep in LD19. Let me tell you about my district class. Let me tell you about, because I come from this place. I love this place, and I couldn't stop if I tried. Once heralded as the model capital of the world, our ancestors, the bunch of forms, the place. I love this place. All the homes across America after the Great Depression. Once heralded as the model capital of the world, but the hard reality is that we are now a shadow of that power and class. All the homes across America. Our old growth trees are gone forever. The forest is stripped to become homogeneous ghosts of what once was a thriving forest. Corporate timber companies like Weyerhaeuser stripped us of our trees, gathered forest strips, our labor, left us to die. Once was a thriving forest. And even our corporate timber companies like big corporations continue to find ways to profit off of us. Gathered forest strips, the majority of available jobs don't pay enough to survive. Healthcare costs are literally killing us. Too many people are uninsured, or underinsured, and even those with coverage are paying way too damn much. So when I'm in the house, I will champion the single payer bill of full Washington. What is out there is way too damn high. You know, I started my campaigning in the homeless camp in Marianna, and then the homeless camp in Long Beach. And I'm going to go back there. What is out there is way too damn high. Those people, they need our help. You know what? They gave me help. They are the homeless camp, and they're coming out of it. Back there. Schools are underfunded. No, they did not fix that. Okay, our schools are underfunded, our teachers got a raise, but the school council and the other staff got cut. And you know who is hurt by that? Are our kids. Okay, our schools are underfunded, our teachers diseases of despair in chemical country are at crisis levels. And you know who? Alcohol, drug abuse, gambling, overspending, and suicide. Anything to not feel anything at crisis levels. If it were possible for a place to be diagnosed with PTSD, anything to not feel. And I will bring my experience as a registered nurse to Olympia. And I will bring my experience as a registered nurse to Olympia. With the lowest life expectancy, the highest addiction rates, the highest unemployment rates, the highest rates of juveniles incarcerated for nonviolent crimes in the entire country, the highest unemployment rates, the highest healthcare, mental healthcare, addiction service, not come close to what's needed for the size of the problem. In the county with the highest addiction rate, there is no detox or treatment center that takes Medicaid or Medicare.
That ain't right.
But there is an award-winning program in the county with the highest addiction rate. There is no detox or treatment center that takes Medicaid or Medicare. We lack so many things, but there's plenty of alcohol, heroin, people like the incumbent in my race take hordes of exorbitant cash to keep us from taking back our power over stuff like guns and women's health care. But listen, right there in Timber Country, our grandparents and great-grandparents left it all on the field to cultivate solidarity in women's health care. But we must right there in Timber Country. Too many people are kicking down instead of punching up. People with no money who do not know their power are not the reason we are struggling, and now's the time for us to come together and take our power back. Almost done. One of the most profound things I learned from Dr. Reverend William Barber in the Poor People's Campaign and National College is that this fight is not about left versus right. It's about right versus wrong. And the middle ground has been gone a long time. I'm mounting this fight in this place that I love because it is literally life and death for us. No one has ever run an unapologetically progressive, people-powered grassroots campaign in rural Washington before, and it's going to be a fight. All the establishment is against us, both sides of the coin. It'll take all of us fighting as hard as we can every day to make this place where every person thrives. So please go to MariannaForThePeople.com. And the only reason that I'm here right now is because of Bernie Sanders. Yes! He inspired me and generations of people like me to organize to win. When we organize, we win.
Okay, Carrie, you're up.
We win. All right. My name is Carrie Wallace. I'm a fellow activist, a fellow nurse, and I have the pleasure of introducing Marianna tonight. She is a mom, an activist who's running for state rep in LD19 because the people there need healthcare, affordable homes, and living jobs right now, not sometime in the future. Formerly a single parent and houseless, Marianna understands the struggles of people in our district and have faced them firsthand. She works every day to make life better for all of us. So here's Marianne.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. You know, this is our first event, and a lot of what I usually say was just said in the previous share of the video. So I just want you to know that I'm here for you, that I want to hear what you have to say. I want to answer your questions. So if you would like to put some questions in the comment section, we have people, some friends of mine that are monitoring those places, and we can talk about what you want me to talk about, and we can listen to each other and come to more of an understanding. I would say right now, today, the number one thing we need to talk about is the pandemic. And as a nurse and a mental health professional, I think that it's really important for me to share my knowledge and learn from you some things so that we can come together and find things that will keep people safe. And they talk about
Rhonda says there's major echo on Facebook.
I heard that too. I don't know. I can't turn my volume down anymore.
I think
We're all learning how to do this.
Yeah,
guys,
you're okay. You're okay, Marianna. Go right ahead. It's something on the Facebook stream. The YouTube stream is fine. I can't control it out of here. So go right ahead. You're doing great.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's kind of my responsibility as a professional to share what I know. I don't want anybody to think that I am the number one expert on any of these things. I just can share what I know about, and as I learn more, I can share more. And if you have things that you can share with me, great, and I'll keep pushing that out. It's always got to be an evidence-based information. I'm not gonna share with you things that are just like and as I learn more, I can share. That's not the right thing to do. But there are ideas and thoughts that can be used to keep us safe. And the first thing that I wanted to talk about is something that came up this weekend for my community, for our communities in LD19, and that was that people felt. I bet you people felt safer to be out in the country, and so people from outside of Grace Harbor, Pacific counties were going to the beach because they probably felt safer to kind of spread out from the cities. But the people who live in those communities in Long Beach, Westport, Ocean Shores, they were all very concerned to see so many people from out of town in their town. These are majority retirement communities, people who are above a certain age, and they were very concerned to have so many people from out of town, using their bathrooms and being in the community, buying things at their stores, and possibility of spreading the virus into their homes. And so a bunch of people wrote letters, wrote emails to community leaders, the mayors, the county councils, and all of that. And it looks like Westport has closed its community to tourists as much as they can. Warrenton, which is near Astoria, has. Long Beach has done what they could do in blocking off streets so that people can't really get into town easily. Ocean Shores, last I saw, had not completely, done that. It might have happened since the last time I was updated. But I think this is really, I know like Nia Bay up all the way up the peninsula. It's really important that we take care of each other, that we stand in solidarity with one another and show that we can, that each other matter, that I'm sure the people that were coming into town, they either weren't really thinking straight, or they were thinking that if they got out in the country, that they would be safer, and I don't want to make them not safe. I don't want that. But we're going toward a shelter in place, or maybe even a quarantine situation as this develops. And those are really serious things. This is a very serious situation. This is something that none of us have ever experienced. And there are people who their entire existence is going through these scenarios, figuring out what to do about them. And these things people have been researching this for decades. And we need to listen to those experts and listen to the medical professionals and do what is recommended. And right now, as we are here, what's recommended is for us to social distance. And for me, that means I have decided with my family that we're sheltering in place, going to the grocery store. But that's it. I'm going to work. Ashlyn's going to work. My daughter's going to work. But we come home and we both work in the healthcare facilities. We come home and change our clothes, take a shower, put our clothes directly into hot water in the washer, leave our shoes outside, take all the precautions. It's very important that we all do that, because we are doing this not for us, not for ourselves. We're doing that for the other people in our lives, right? We are limiting our exposure to the reality of getting a virus that could make us kind of sick, but we're limiting ourselves to so that we don't bring it home to our families. So, has there been any questions?
Not so far.
Not
Okay.
so far. Do you want questions from us?
I would love there to be questions.
Okay.
I want to be directed by the people.
Yeah, I do too. I was wondering, can you tell us what personal things you're doing to for your family in the arms of this COVID virus outbreak?
Yeah. Well, my mom is of a certain age, and she has some lung disease, and so she was in the middle of moving from one place to another. So we quickly moved her to a new place, which was nice and clean, and not the other place wasn't clean, but newly clean, and got her all the things that she needed. And now I've been teaching her what sheltering in place means. She's resisting me a little bit because she's, my mom. But I've asked her to stay home. She can go in her car and drive around if she needs to get out, but to not be within 6 feet of someone else. Take all of her meds, keep her hands clean, do all the stuff that we're all been told. It's really rough on her she's a very social person. She wants to be around us, especially us. I mean, her family. She just lives down the street. It's really rough on her. She wants hugs and stuff. And she's a very social person. She wants to be around us. With my family, she just lives down the street. You know, we clean the germs that are in our houses. We're all used to, but we did do an extra cleaning and sanitizing of all the frequently touched items like doorknobs, the refrigerator handles. You know, I frequently wipe those down. Make sure the laundry gets cleaned right away. Encourage the kids to wash their hands more. And like I said, when I come home from work, we take off all of our clothes, put it right in the wash, leave our shoes outside.
Thank you. That's what we were doing. Carrie, have you found any more questions? I have one.
Yeah, there's one from Shauna who asks, do you feel a shelter in place should be called?
I do. That's my opinion. I think it's soon to happen anyway. So I feel like that we might as well just practice doing it already. I think it's the safest thing to do as far as all the things that I have read, and I think that other places have done it sooner than with fewer people infected than we have. It's really tough. It's hard to tell people, especially independent American, go get them bootstraps people, to tell them to stay home. People don't like being told what to do.
Well,
I don't like being told what to do.
Since you bring that up, it's probable, in my opinion, that Inslee will basically do the same thing that Illinois and Louisiana and New York and California has done. And that's
Right.
basically tell everybody to stay home except for specifics, doctors, pharmacies, grocery stores, of course. How do you think that will be enforced? That was a question that was asked of me yesterday, but it applies here because I'm talking to a candidate.
I would have to research that a little bit more, Oz, to tell you how it is going to be enforced. I do not know what their policy is on that. But
it is a tough question.
I think
yeah.
my opinion should be.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
I don't think like the army should like roll in the town in some tanks and like do some outbreak stuff like the movies. That's
right.
ridiculous.
That would scare everybody.
I think that with that's too scary, right? With a steady hand, with people who know what they're doing, know what they're talking about, are trusted, and not freaking out, but being factual and giving all the information and not hiding things, I think people can understand. People are smart. People know what makes sense and what doesn't. And I think that if our local officials, not just our governor, but people at the local level can be briefed, can know what they're doing, be factual and be honest, then I think we can keep people from freaking out and keep people from resisting the urge to resisting the advice of the experts. And we on the coast anyway, we have the emergency response team out here that we have like this tsunami drills like every month, right? The tsunami siren goes off, everybody knows what their role is, the kids have done it in the drills over and over and over. So that system, the people that work in that system, there would be people that would be trusted to tell people what the next level is, what they need to be doing. So we need to use that kind of system to promote safety and trust with our officials.
Okay, Carrie, do you have a question ready?
Yeah, Donna has two questions. One of them is, what can ordinary people do to help?
Well, stay home. um, be positive in your interactions with people. We're lucky in this day and age, we have the ability to still have a social life with people online like we're doing right now. So show some solidarity with one another when you're interacting. Um, logged excuse me. I logged back into my Nextdoor app. I don't know if you have that where you are. It's like people on there are people that actually live next door to you. And it's kind of like any other social media app.
Yeah, that
And
I have that app. It's a good app. I recommend everybody partake if it's available.
yeah, and I was contemplating as the elected PCO of my precinct. I kind of started a mutual aid kind of group on there and asked people to put some ideas of things they could do. So far it's like a little bit further out. It's like grow some food and um, you know offer to go shopping for someone. But it's kind of those are more general thoughts. But I did see a story where people had put like color coded piece of paper in their window, and then if they needed water, it was blue. If they needed food, it was orange. Whatever. We can start those sorts of things. All kinds of community action. Like someone contacted me today about doing like a phone tree to check on elderly people who, because the hospitals may have to uh, discharge people that are not super sick, right? And make room for people that are super sick. So people might be sent home sooner than normal. So those people will need to be checked on. So we are trying to think of a way to contact them without breaking HIPAA laws and all that sort of stuff. And so I think I'm seeing a lot of people thinking outside of the box, trying to um, help each other, and I think that's beautiful.
Okay, I brought Carrie in with you into the shot, so she's right there next to you. Do you have another question, Carrie?
Yeah, Donna's second question was, we haven't done extensive testing. What do you think our government should be doing in regards to testing?
Testing. Okay. Well, a couple of the stories that I read the last few days, it appears that we might be getting close to there not being a need to do a heck of a lot of tests. Like we're almost to the point of no return. Like everybody that's going to be infected is kind of probably infected already, and we can keep from growing that, but testing people isn't going to do anything. It's the social isolation, it's the sheltering in place, possibly the quarantine that's going to keep us from spreading it around. Testing us is not going to keep us from spreading around at this point. Now, if we had tested in January or December when we first knew about this, then we could have really saved some people. We could have really done some good. But now that we're in March, close to the end of March, I don't know that there's a lot of reason to test just regular people on the street because we're supposed to be staying home anyway. So.
All right, another question, Carrie?
Yes, Lisa is asking, if you were already in office, what measures would you support enacting at this time regarding the pandemic to help the 99%?
Unemployment would be fully funded just as it is now. I would be pushing to not just put a moratorium on evictions, but to completely put a moratorium on paying rent for the next couple of months, along with supporting landlords in not having to pay their bank mortgage, because people are not going to be able to pay this. And regardless of whether we say that they have to pay it or not, they're still not going to be able to pay it. I mean, they need the money to buy food and water. So survival is number one. Um, I would instantly put everybody on SNAP if I could. I know that's a federal program, but it is state regulated. So I would make sure everyone is qualified who needs it for food stamps so that everybody has enough food. They don't have to spend their money on food. They can spend their money on supplies that they need. Boy, you put me on the spot. I think food, water, and shelter is like, we're going to start with Maslow's hierarchy. We're going to have some safety. So, safety. I would have have some way to stop the terrorism that's happening with ICE. I don't know what exactly that would be, but I would be a champion standing on the corner or at the Northwest Detention Center or wherever I had to be to keep ICE from terrorizing our neighbors as they're going through this, just as we are. Because I will eventually put bill forth to close the Northwest Detention Center and private prisons in Washington State. But I won't be able to do that immediately.
Okay. Carrie dropped off. Her laptop ran out of power, so I'm gonna stay in here for a little bit, as long as you wish. Let's open it up just for an opinion, not to be critical of what's necessarily being done at a federal level. But do you think our government's response right now is starting to catch up to where it failed behind in the beginning? And as you said before, you'd put a moratorium on rents. Do you think the federal government should basically tell all the mortgage companies, all the lenders, to put a freeze on everything at this point in time until we can go
Yes.
forward? Okay, I'll let you expatiate
100%.
on
that. The only way forward is for us to take care of each other, the mass of people, and the federal government's sole purpose is to help us take care of each other. And when they're not doing that, then it definitely shows us where the changes need to happen, doesn't it? So, yes, end student debt payments, end mortgage payments, universal basic income, at least $2,000 a month until this is over.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Lisa Hoquiam asked, "What about the utilities?" Same thing, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Luckily, most of Washington has a public utility district, but not everywhere.
Yeah.
I know Thurston County doesn't.
No, I've got Puget Sound. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
Shauna Redding has a question. Shauna Redding, how many ventilators are there, would you say, for hospitals in Washington, and how many ventilators are there in Grays Harbor, would you say?
Well, last I worked at Grays Harbor Community Hospital, we had 12 ventilators, one for each room in the critical care unit and 2 for the ER. But I haven't worked there for 2.5, 3 years, so that might be different now. But yeah, we had 10. Critical care unit has 10 rooms. And some of those were leased and not owned by the hospital, so they may have come or gone.
So we're very under.
But in the state, I don't know how many in the state. Woefully not enough.
Yeah, I would
nowhere
think
near enough.
Nowhere near enough. And that I read an article Friday that hospitals up in Olympia were asking for the public to donate equipment like masks and things like that. And with that, Donna Albert
Yeah.
asked, what can ordinary people do to help?
Well, if you have N95 masks that you can give them to the hospitals, to the EMTs, the fire departments, the police. They're the people that are going to save us from this. I mean, seriously, the first responders and the nurses, doctors at the hospitals and any health care facility, they're going to be, they are the heroes in this story. Um,
What kind of mask is that?
so
You gave
the,
it a number. It's a special mask?
the N95 is a respirator mask. It's usually made by 3M, but those are the ones I've seen. But they needed to be fit to you. Everybody's face is different, so you have to wear a different size, and you mold it to your face when you put it on, and there's a certain way to use it. And it's not just something you can just pop on and you think you're safe.
Yeah.
There's a movement right now, people sewing masks for each other, and that's great. I mean, that's really good. It's something to do. It's something you can do. But I want to be, fully honest about that, okay? Those aren't N95 masks. Those aren't going to keep the coronavirus out of your body without more than just that mask. Like a double layer of cotton material, 100% cotton. It's really good. It's like 50% effective. So think of that, 50% effective. So you got to be real about it, that you still have to keep your social distance. You still have to wash your hands. Still don't touch your face, which is going to be hard, wearing a mask. But we can give those to the professionals at the hospitals and the fire departments and stuff, and that will be another barrier that will keep them from getting sick. So that's good.
Okay. Yeah, I've got.
It's not the solution. I want that to be clear.
Yeah,
That's
no,
not like the whole solution.
it's not a solution. Now,
tool.
am I correct in assuming, and this is my pathology behind why my wife and I wear a mask, is that I'm actually not protecting stuff from coming in. I'm trying to reduce the possibility of my fluids spraying out and getting caught a little bit
Sure.
more. That's where I'm at on
Yeah.
that. It's like my public
For sure.
service when I have to go out.
Right.
We don't go out. We don't order anything unless we absolutely need it. Next question, Lisa Hoquiam. If you were already in office, what measures would you support enacting at this time regarding the pandemic to help the 99%? I think you've kind of touched on that, and you can expand, please.
I think we read that one already, Oz. I think we answered that one. That was.
Yeah, I'm getting them thrown at me.
Got that
Did you
one.
want to expand on it at all?
Well, I said I would support stopping rents. I would put whatever funding that I could into making sure we had supplies for
Okay.
our first responders in hospitals. And it has to be federally done to stop the mortgages.
Right.
But I would work with whoever I had to work with to get that done.
Well, good. That's great. We have a couple of more questions from Carrie. When this COVID-19 thing is over, what is your vision for our future and where do we start? That's a good big question.
We start with a universal health care plan with whole Washington. It's in the Senate, state Senate, 5222 is its number. And we're going to find a way to collect 300,000 signatures this year and get it put it into the legislature in 2021 as a bill to the legislature, so that they have to put the bill on the ballot. Whether they can either accept it as it is, they can put it on the ballot with their version next to it, or they can just put it on the ballot for people to vote about. But what it is a healthcare system that would cost $9 billion less than it does for us in Washington now. It eliminates the for-profit health insurance industry and makes everything free at the point of service, except for a little bit of a fee on name brand prescription drugs. That's $250 for a whole year is the most you would pay for prescription drugs. Whole Washington has a website, wholewashington.org, and you can go there and find out how much you would save using this system. Everyone, 95% of people in Washington will save, and the only people who will pay more are people who can afford to pay more, very, very wealthy people. Um, and it won't be that much more for them anyway. Uh, it is a time for us to finally have what every other developed country in the world has, and that is guaranteed health care from birth to death. And we have been cheated out of this for our entire lives, and it is time for us to stand up together and make this happen. And it has to be Washington being first, and then California and Oregon, whoever it is that comes after us, then that's the way it has to be, because we must stand up and make this happen. Our current elected officials are not obviously not going to do it. So it's time for the people to do it. And that was the beginning of why I decided to run. It's because I'm so passionate about making sure that everyone is cared for.
Okay, yeah. Before the next question, I just want to expand on Whole Washington and everybody who has been working tirelessly at Whole Washington for the last, what is it now, 5 years? Is it 5 years or about
Yeah,
5 years?
close.
I
Yeah.
mean, these people have been on the front lines for Medicare for All for 5 years, fighting for us, not for a for-profit insurance scam or scheme. They've been fighting for the health of our families, of our future. So Whole Washington is on the top of my hero list for that. So, and everybody that works for that, I encourage everybody join up to help bring health care to us as soon as possible. And this crisis is really pointing to why we need it. So Whole Washington has been ahead of the curve all along, and I commend all of you. The next question we have is, what grassroots activism were you involved in before coronavirus, and do you think those efforts will still be important in the future?
Oh, 100%. When I first started in this movement, I met some people who were opposing putting oil trains, an terminal in Grace Harbor. And I learned a lot about what an oil train was and how long it was and what happens if it blows up, and all this stuff from all these people, and a lot also about organizing people and making things work and working together with different groups and all of that. So that was my first real big foray into being an activist. And the people that were leading that movement are my friends still, and some of my greatest supporters. They were successful in their effort to keep oil trains from coming through Grace Harbor, and I will always be grateful to them for keeping us safe. Um, a group of us decided to start a community action group, and we called it Democracy Rising. It evolved into Our Revolution, and a local Our Revolution group. We made endorsements of candidates in our area, and we had a lot of meetings, and we had a summit where we all learned things from each other. That was very important to me. I've gone to different rallies. I'm sorry about my computer making noises, guys. Every time I get a message, I get a sorry. Um, I've been to tons of rallies. Women's March. I helped organize a women's march in Ocean Shores in 2017. That was really fun. We did some activist work in Seattle with different groups just to learn how to do things. I went to a nonviolent direct action training. And one of my favorite things is that I joined the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for a moral revival in Washington and Grace Harbor. And there's such wonderful people working in that movement to build dignity for everyone. And I love my Poor People's Campaign friends, and I will stand with them forever.
That's fantastic. Um, this is kind of along the same lines, but more as your professional skill set. As a nurse, what do you see as your role during this pandemic? Have you volunteered to help at all on the front lines?
I will. Yeah, that's somebody prompting me to tell you that yes, I wasn't gonna say, but I sent my resume in a week and a half ago to a travel nursing agency because I'm working in mental health right now, and it's very important, and people are hurting and they're anxious and they're worried. But I have a lot of respect for my coworkers, and I know that they will be okay. But I really feel like it's my responsibility to use my skills that I learned when I was first a nurse in whatever way I can to help my fellow nurses and doctors and PAs and respiratory therapists and all the people. Um, they're gonna get sick and they're gonna need a day off. And so I feel like it's my responsibility to step up and get back into the hospital and do what I can. So we'll see if when the travel agency calls me, and I'll probably go do that for a while. Take a leave of absence from the McClary Clinic, McClary Hospital.
Very good. Uh, the next question is, how do we help get you elected?
If you could go to my website, mariannaforthepeople.com, and sign up to be a volunteer. We have to evolve our campaign quite quickly. We had, one strategy planned out, and now we can't knock on any doors safely. So we're scrambling to change things and make things different and get our word out there. So please volunteer. Please donate. Marianna for the people. Or wait, Alex, could you put that link up for my donation? Is that possible?
It's in the rundown.
Anyway, on my mariannaforthepeople.com, there's a donate link there. I need donations. Reoccurring $5 donations would be wonderful. This is a 100% grassroots funded campaign. I'm not taking any corporate cash or any big ag money or anything like that. So I'm just taking donations from everybody out there, people like you. And because you can't fix corruption if you take its money. And I'm not going to play that. I'm going to do this the right way.
So many of our incumbents do play that game, and it's not playing for the people, it's playing for the corporate donors. And I'll argue that point until the end of time because, it's just horrible. Next question. How can people outside of Washington State help our friends at Whole Washington?
Well, the wholewashington.org website, you can donate. You can money. You can donate time to come here and help us gather signatures if you want. You don't have to be a resident of Washington State to help gather signatures when the time comes. You can make connections with people that might be able to help us, other people. So share with your friends. Hey, maybe you know somebody who has a bill of $1 zillion and they want single payer in Washington. Maybe they can help us. So there's a lot of ways, and I really would appreciate that.
Yeah, I think
make
make
a big difference.
We
I think we all can. I think everybody, even people from outside of Washington, will benefit from Washington getting this passed, because once it's here, then everybody will want it.
Correct.
Everybody will want it everywhere, and it will pass state after state after state after state.
That's why
So
the big
we just gotta get it done.
that's why the big for-profit insurance companies don't want any states to do it, because once one state does it, then a next state does it, and then after a while it catches fire. Everybody's going to want it because they find that it's the way to go. I mean, it saves lives
Right.
and it saves money, and
Right.
it's just what we got to do.
Well, think how different this would be right now if we had had a single payer
Oh,
system in
absolutely.
place already.
Oh yeah, we'd be on
You
top of
know,
this thing. Yes,
we'd be
absolutely.
so far
Yeah,
much further out
yeah,
than
yeah,
we are.
yeah. And that's I don't want to get into the Italy situation, but I want everybody to remember that Italy is rated number 2 as far as health care in the world, where the United States is rated number 27. And Italy, their culture there got them to the point where they are now. I mean, everybody relied on that benefit of being able to go to the hospital for things, but their culture is a very embracing culture, where you kiss each other on the lips and hug, and
Right.
you're very
Right.
more community. That's their culture, where Americans are a little bit more standoffish, and that's it. But I want to go on with the questions. I don't want to philosophize my stuff with you, but I'm just trying to shore up opinions here.
No, I appreciate it.
Our
Us.
our
No, I
friend
appreciate
our friend Mary Cox, she worked with us at Burning on the Green here this summer, and that was
Yeah.
great. She says Providence is asking us to sew regular cotton masks. Providence nurses, like my daughter, are working long shifts and then going home and sewing masks. They will be laundered and sterilized there. We should be helping! Exclamation point. It wasn't a question. It was just a statement of I fact.
Yes, I
So
agree.
yeah,
Yeah, we should be
absolutely.
helping.
We absolutely
Yes.
agree. Lots of love, Mary, and anything else you want to
Yes.
add, and anybody watching the stream, please do. We've got about 8 minutes left, so I'm going to keep it open. Here's, aside from not talking corporate money, what sets you apart from your competition?
That's up to you to decide. I'm just going to talk about what I'm doing, what I'm for, what I will do, how much I care, and how hard I work, and the policies that I believe in, and listen to you about the policies that you believe in. And you can decide, who's better to vote for. I'm not going to downgrade anybody. I might point out some things that are different from me. I guess that's what you're asking. So if you're asking about the incumbent, I don't take corporate cash. He does. I don't divide people up. He does. I, you know, I'm I'm pretty polite and respectful, and I will always be. And I'll be honest with you. I don't know that he is. Well, I definitely know that he's been very rude me personally. So you know, so that's the only thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna tell you what I believe in. I'm gonna tell you what I think will be the best for us, and listen to you. Might you know compare and contrast, but I'm gonna leave it up to you.
Well, that's certainly the way to be, Mariana. You're rare in the world today. You're a person of conviction. You have faith in what you believe in. You're just. I'm not ingratiating you. That's just how I believe you are, and you have proven that time and time again with your work with all these groups like Whole Washington and our Revolution, and just working for the benefit of the people. It's I have to say Senator Sanders has it right. It's not me, it's us, and you are the epitome of that, and we really do appreciate it. Did you want to make a few closing statements while I look for possibly another question or two?
Um, I wasn't prepared, but I suppose I'm learning how to talk and talk
Well,
and
that's all
talk and
right. I
talk.
had a question just pop up.
Oh, okay, good.
How do we cultivate solidarity while maintaining social distancing guidelines? That's a good question. Thank you, Carrie. That's from Carrie Wallace.
Yeah, that's very good. Thank you, Carrie. Well, um, in our history, especially in the west of the United States, people didn't have like 25 people to talk to. You know, they had their family, and then like 10 miles down the road there was another family, and you know, people weren't smashed together like we're used to now. So we can do this. You know, we can um, write letters, we can write postcards, we can talk over the internet. We're so lucky we have this technology. We can talk to each other and call on the phone, and you know, make plans and share music, share gardening, share everything. So yes, we can also share solidarity. And I encourage you all to join groups, to talk to your neighbors over the internet, or you know, I've you know, people talking to each other 10 feet in a circle. Definitely do not stop having a social life, but definitely do not stop um, caring for one another, because I think that's what solidarity is. Solidarity is taking care of each other, making sure other people are okay as well.
I think that sums it up. I mean, it's about community, not community to gain wealth and power and position. It's about
That's
building
right.
a healthy planet and a future that is sustainable for our children and future generations. Well, Mariana,
That's
I
right.
think that's going to wrap it up for tonight. I'm going to let you give
Thank you.
the information for your site again, where to donate, and definitely I want to personally thank you on behalf of everybody and thank everybody who has participated tonight. It's been wonderful, and I'm looking forward to doing this again.
All right. Thank you, Oz. I appreciate your help and your solidarity with me. My website is mariannaforthepeople.com. There's a donate link there. If you don't want to use Act Blue, I totally understand. I have a PO box address there that you can send donations to if you feel so moved to do so. I appreciate you. I need to buy some signs, guys. That's my next big purchase. I've been fundraising for signs for the last month and a half, but I still need more for signs. And so if you could help me out to get some signs, I got to get those out on the road. That's something I can do right now. See, I can't go to knock on people's doors, but I can put some signs out and get my name out there. So if you would please do that, I would appreciate that. And volunteer on my website and get my emails and spread this around to the people that you know that might be able to vote for me. And LD19, that's half of Grays Harbor all the way to the Columbia River and to the ocean.
Well,
Thanks, everybody.
that's great. I have one closing question that just popped up, and
Oh,
it's from Laura, and Carrie loves this idea of postcards. Ask her what we would need to raise in order for her campaign to print postcards.
um, I think the last. So we're printing our literature, you know, that we hand out people at the door or whatever, as a postcard size, you know, right now. So I think those are a box of. Uh, I don't want to quote it. The Union Printer in Aberdeen. I probably need $200 to get another you know, 1,000 postcards, and then we would have both for handing them out and for sending them out. So yeah.
Okay, that's it. And when do you think you'll be doing another one of these virtual town halls? Do you have any idea yet?
Well, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be doing a less fancy one. It's just going to be a Zoom meeting that's sent out uh, to the nether, as
she
it would.
she called me fancy, everybody. She's calling me
You're
fancy. You're
fancy.
so sweet. Thank you
You
so
are
much.
fancy.
So okay, tomorrow morning, and
Anyway, so tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, and then I'm hoping to do these longer ones once on each weekend.
that's great. And I'll make the time for
Thank you.
this. Like I said, you're tops on my list with Amber and Carrie and Rhonda and whole Washington, of course. Anybody that wants to do a show or do a public service announcement, a PSA. I am available. Just reach out and we'll record it and we'll put it up and it'll be ready to go for you. Thanks again, everyone, Marianna. And we're going to go out of here with the end of that video that we started with, just so we can slide out comfortably. And if you'd stick around for a couple of minutes, Marianna, I want you to critique my flubs and mistakes, and I'm going to praise you for what a wonderful job you did tonight. So good night, everybody. Thank you very much.
Good night. Thanks, you guys. Person thrives, so please go to MariannaForThePeople.com. And the only reason that I'm here right now is because of Bernie Sanders. Yes! He inspired me and generations of
Odd.
on my YouTube, not
On
yours.
your YouTube, not this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You've got the clean YouTube. Check out. You have the link.
Oh,
to,
now it's not. Now it's right. So Franklin must have fixed it somehow.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good.
All right.
All right. Well, I'll turn off the mainstream on YouTube. It's still showing live, and just let me know whatever you need. I'll be here. Okay.
It was Redshift. I had to
All
fix
right.
the Redshift.
Thank you so much.
It was what?
Redshift.
Red Shift. I don't know what that is.
It was just an option that you can do on
All right.
OBS.
Well, I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah. How did it?
We
come
learned
out?
stuff. See, we got some learning.
Yeah. How did it come out on your?
Learning done.
It was good, other than me needing to move it around a few times.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I think it went well. So
I think so too.
yeah, I gotta get in there. Did you ask Amber if there was going to be a meeting, or do we know?
We're still in the Actually, I'm in another meeting in the Progressive Caucus.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just look around if there's a
I'm
meeting.
gonna jump into that one real quick.
If there's
Yes,
a meeting.
please. There's endorsements.
All right. Have a nice night, everybody. Thank you.
Night, everybody.
We
Thank
love you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.